Aniela, I would like to welcome you tonight. Uh, I have been waiting for uh, this particular evening for a long time, and I'm grateful that Aniela accepted to be here with us. She's not only a friend, she's not only a speaker, she's not, but she is a real sister who speaks Farsi with me, and I couldn't ask for more. Please go ahead, Aniela.
Thank you, beloved friends. I'm a little shy because I've been in these spaces with physicists and multi-doctorates and such brilliant souls. And I'm here coming to you with an open heart. And and hopefully we will build on this concept that uh, building divine relationships, we'll study it together, and we'll come up with a new way of being, because that can happen at any moment. I wanted to ask if we have any friends of the faith here, people who are not familiar or are becoming familiar with the faith. I just want to know if we need a quick intro to what is the Baha'i faith, and what are we trying to do. Um, could you unmute yourselves and say if you need this, or should we move on? I trust you to take care of yourself.
May I suggest that you would give an introduction, a short introduction, anyways, Aniela Jan,
Josh.
Aziza.
Um, Yes, thank you. I will. And you will, for anybody, all of the physicists and the doctorates and all will forgive me, because I, I have just a very simple explanation that um, I fell in love with the Baha'i faith almost 42 years ago. I studied comparative religion, and I wasn't taught about the faith, and I had a rigorous religious training by Jesuits. And what this is what I've come to understand. You can correct me, and but don't throw tomatoes at me. So, for eons, this mysterious, beloved creator has sent voices, teachers with a capital T, um, to educate creation. We call this, it's not an entity, this mystery God. It's neither female or male. Depending upon which language you speak, you might say he or she. And because we're going to be using quotes tonight from translated from another language into the King's English, I'll use he. So this God, I'm going to start from recorded history, but we have always had these, what Baha'is love to call manifestations of God. It's a beautiful term, manifestations of God. So if we were to look at recorded history, we would see that Abraham comes and he's teaching humanity. Guess what? There's just one God. There's not multi-gods, the God of thunder, the God of lightning, just one God. He's unknowable. And we must bow down to this one God. Mysterious, yes. And Moses comes after this and says, yes, there is one God. So you're going to notice that these manifestations of God um, reiterate what was taught to us, and this beloved, benevolent God that loves his creation sends information in increments so that we can learn and apply. Moses says there is one God. Yes, this is true. He has laws that we have to obey. And these laws are immutable. It's interesting that every civilized uh, country abides by these laws. We have over in another country um, Zoroaster, who rises and says, I am the one you have been waiting for. There's always another one. He reiterates there's one God. He has laws that you have to obey. And Zoroaster introduces the idea of an immortal soul, of eternity. And this, speaking in stories and parables, introduces this idea of Satan, um, and says, I will come again. And indeed, he says, gives a prophecy, and he says, you'll know I've come again when there's a new star in the sky. And Christians every year celebrate the story of the birth of Jesus at Christmas time with the wise men who have come from the East. Well, they are Zoroastrians, friends, and they did, in fact, map the skies. We still use that map. They found the star. They found the return of Zoroaster. They said his name is Jesus the Christ. They go back to their countries and they're put to death, which is what we are wont to do because we get very attached to our lamp and not the light of God. We get attached to the teacher. We get attached to the voice. My voice is better than your voice. And this is actually never what God intended. So we have the Buddha who says, yes, there is one God, depending upon um, uh, which part of Buddhism you ascribe to or subscribe to. The Buddha says, yes, there's one God. He has laws. Yes, you have an eternal soul. Um, but now you're going to apply right action, right thought. You can actually commune with this mysterious force of love through meditation and through action. Um, then Jesus the Christ rises and says, I am the one you have waited for. I am the Son of God, and it is through me that you will get to the Father. So he reiterates there's one God. He has laws that we have to obey. You do have an eternal soul. He speaks of this lower nature called Satan and even gives us a story about the tension between the lower nature and the higher nature. And yes, right action. Turn the other cheek, he says. His life is devoted to modeling love and sacrifice. In fact, we all know his last words. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. So we see this tremendous mercy rather than an eye for an eye, which humanity needed to understand truthfulness and honesty and um, all of the things that Moses in the Ten Commandments, actually there are many more commandments, is trying to teach us through authoritative means. Jesus begins to say, what if we were attracted to the beauty of love and sacrifice and we obeyed God this way? After Jesus comes Prophet Muhammad, and Prophet Muhammad had a pretty difficult time of it. He comes to a nation who is burying their baby daughters alive, and yet this magnificent being teaches there's one God. He has laws that you must obey. Yes, love and sacrifice. And he introduces a new concept to understand love and sacrifice. And the only way I can describe this is to say that he teaches this idea of submission to the will of God. And the will of God has always been the peace and love of humankind. And Muslims bow down 5 times a day to exemplify this important quality, submitting to the will of God. And the only way I can understand it is to say that we're either, creating more chaos in the world with our actions and thoughts or less chaos in the world. So submitting to the will of love is what we want to do. And finally, we have aged to such a degree that God says, not one, but two manifestations of God have been sent to the earth. The beloved Bob, whose name means the gate, who is referred to 365 times in the Holy Bible, both New and Old Testament. And he makes way he comes like John the Baptist prepares the way for Jesus. The Bob, a manifestation of God, comes to prepare the way for Baha'u'llah, which means the glory of God, comes to prepare the way for the oneness of humanity. We are now charged with this. And, there are two things that Baha'u'llah introduces to the world of humanity. He introduces the idea that I just explained. These manifestations of God were sent for our mercy and training and should never be compared. They are on the same station. We should never fight over who is right and who is wrong, but take this information, inculcate it into our beings, and love one another. There's really only one God. There's one religion that is ever unfolding. There will always be voices of God, manifestations of God to come for our training, for our mercy, for our learning. And he says another, he says, you are one human family, created noble. Rise to that which you were created. And tonight, we're going to explore some of the very profound disciplines that we can, in fact, create heaven on earth, as Jesus says. So the theme of the Baha'i faith is working on the oneness of humankind through unity. But the most beloved in the sight of God, if it was love for Jesus and submission to the will of God for peaceful people, for Muhammad, for Baha'u'llah, he says to us that the highest, the exemplification of love is justice in this world. So what does that mean? That everyone deserves to be fed, to be educated, to be cherished, to be loved, and rise to that which you were created. You were created noble and in the image of God. Forgive me if that is not a physicist's all of the brilliance that you have experienced in this space. This is little Aniela. But there is another thing that Baha'u'llah is calling humankind to. He's calling us to search independently for truth. What does that mean? That means that gone are the days of inheriting our parents' religion. We must choose for ourselves our path to God. He calls us to collaborate in this, to consult in this, and to continue searching. So tonight, little old me welcomes you to this gathering, that you come with the dedication and responsibility for your own learning. And how are we doing? Are we good? Yep. I want to, yes,
perfect.
I want to start off by scaring us. Can I scare us? before we get to building divine friendships, can you go to your chat? And I'm going to read a quote. This is Baha'u'llah speaking to you and I. It's a scary quote, but it's really important. So stay with me. O thou who longest for spiritual attributes, goodly deeds, and truthful and beneficial words. The outcome of this, our words, our goodly deeds, the outcome of this is an upraised heaven, an outspread earth, rising suns, gleaming moons, scintillating stars, crystal fountains, flowing rivers, subtle atmospheres, sublime palaces, lofty trees, heavenly fruits, rich harvests, warbling birds, crimson leaves, and perfumed blossoms. Thus I say, have mercy, O my Lord, the All-Merciful, upon my blameworthy attributes, my wicked deeds, my unseemly acts, and my deceitful and injurious words. For the outcome of these is realized in the contingent realm, this world, as hell and hellfire, and the infernal and fetid trees as utter malevolence, loathsome things, sicknesses, misery, pollution, war, and destruction. Baha'u'llah is asking us to raise our language into peaceful communications, loving communications, divine relationships. We have now experienced, we went into modernity with no ethics. And there is another quote that follows it. Where is it? Can we put that in? The second quote. And so he goes on. He said, it is clear and evident, therefore, the first bestowal of God is the word. Remember, the Holy Bible starts off with the word was one. It has always been one. One God, one unfolding religion, one human race. So it is clear and evident, therefore, that the first bestowal of God is the word, and its discoverer and recipient is power and understanding. This word is the foremost instructor. The word of these manifestations of God is the foremost instructor in the school of existence and the revealer of him who is the Almighty. All that is seen and visible only through the light of its wisdom. What are the ground rules by which we will order ourselves, friends? All that is manifest is but a token of its knowledge. All goodness is because of the knowledge of God, the knowledge of this mysterious love that wants to raise us up. All names are but its name. And the beginning and end of all matters must needs depend upon it. So we're going to look at some of those words as we go about trying to build these divine relationships that will calm, soothe, and help us draw upon the spiritual forces that are at our fingertips if we will yield and submit to them, if we will yearn for their understanding. And so there's this inner divine search for beauty, and beauty is found in the words of God. And its expression, if this beauty is found in the words of God, its expression is found in our deep concern for the well-being of each other. This is religion. So how do we learn to think together? I'm very interested in this as a social scientist. Because we don't have structures in place that allow us to think together without negative judgments, without success and failure and competition in that space. We don't have spaces where everyone feels safe to voice their need to learn, their want to learn. We don't have spaces. We went into modernity without ethics. Remember I said this? So now we're going to apply ethics. And I am going to try with these spiritual forces to share my screen. Pray for me. It comes to you, my dear. Screen share. Okay, now go to
You're a co-host.
Oh, I'm a co-host, yes, but I'm looking for where is play? Oh God, I need you, dear Roya. Can you? I did it before. Come on. Okay, so I hit this and then I share
Two
and
little
then
boxes. Oh, okay. Just slides. Okay, you're good.
yeah, but where's play? I don't see play. Do I have to play was there earlier? Pray for me, guys. I'm gonna learn this by God. Okay, now what, Roya?
Oh, you're trying to do
I'm
see
trying
the play there right above your cursor.
right above my cursor. Uh, uh,
Move
right
up a bit. Up, 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 up.
up, share,
Oh,
pause.
play is right next to tables.
It's
Play
next.
is
It's
the
not
other
in, it's not
Where?
in
view, zoom, add slide, and then play.
Okay, repeat what you just said.
The order that it shows view, zoom, add slide, and then play.
Look. Oh, thank you for the prayers. So, exploring divine friendships, this call from the beloved that has been from the very beginning of us walking on this earth, dear friends. So no one can arise in a permissive culture, and no one can arise in an authoritative culture. Let's look at some quotes that are going to help structure us as we go about how to be trusted friends, neighbors, co-workers, collaborators. Roya, would you read? And how do I get rid of this one little screen here?
it doesn't show to us.
Okay, good. Go on.
Okay. For is it not love for God that burns away all veils of estrangement and division and binds hearts together in perfect unity? Is it not His love that spurs you on in the field of service and enables you to see in every soul the capacity to know Him and to worship Him? Universal House of Justice.
So there is then this love of God, love of the Word of God, and our worship is shown by burning away veils of estrangement with each other. That's how we show our love for God in this contingent world. And there is a quote that it started me on this whole journey about relationships and actually has carried me through everything that I do in my life, in service and as a professional. The object of all the holy manifestations, all of these voices of God, was always and will always be, is that hearts come to know each other and souls become intimate. We have ruined this word. We have misused this word. We have not understand this word. It is a divine word. And what might it feel like when souls become intimate with each other? There is an extraordinary trust. Our spaces are filled with creativity. Voices are at a round table, not in hierarchy, superiority, one better than the other, one knowing more than the other. No, not at all. There's this intense curiosity of what you know and what I know. And there was, this may not be the time, but this is where it's coming from. There was a letter that was released to the Baha'is of the, actually to the world, not to the Baha'is of the world, to the world by the Universal House of Justice, which is the highest governing body in the Baha'i faith in Haifa, Israel, on Mount Carmel. And they said to us that the next three things that humanity must understand and get under its belt as a discipline is understanding a language of encouragement is going to move us towards this intimacy, a divine intimacy. It has nothing to do with sex, has nothing to do with the contingent world. It's where you and I operate with such trust that we would never do anything to harm it or harm another. The second, with this language of encouragement, which is why I opened this whole talk with this quote that's scary, that our language has caused wars, pollution, the degradation of humanity. So we've got to learn, how are we going to speak to each other? How are we going to communicate in a way that is full of, the second skill is encouragement. So we have spaces that is success or failure. It's competition. Oh, no, you didn't do that right. Instead of this curious, let's learn together, we lock arms and we accompany each other. You know something, I know something. There's this continual adding to knowledge because we love learning. You are here dedicated to your learning. So how do we get to this intimacy? Will be a long process because we have words that have harmed. We have labels we have put on our fellow human beings, undeserved. We have treated our fellow human beings in extraordinarily heinous ways. Will God forgive us? I often wonder. The third capacity that the House of Justice cautions humanity we must learn is staying in a humble posture of learning. And for me, humility, what does this mean, a humble posture of learning? It's the ability to be taught by anyone, anywhere, anyhow, anyway. I would like to learn it gently, just as you would. I would not like to learn it harshly, but we humans are very stubborn. Can we go to the next quote? Nason, June, or Jane, would you read?
Is not the object of every revelation to effect a transformation in the whole character of mankind, a transformation that shall manifest itself both outwardly and inwardly, that shall affect both its inner life and external conditions?
So each story I told about the voice or the manifestation of God or the teacher, capital T, they have a station of their own. We can never hope to be one of these voices or teachers. We are humble servants of them. They are, they are a revelation. So we have the Adamic revelation, the revelation of Moses, the revelation of Buddha, of Zoroaster, and so on. So is not the object of every revelation to effect a transformation in the whole character of humankind? Yes, that's what they came for. Not for us to fight over who's right. So we're only going to know if there is an effect is in the relationships among us. And this development finds expression in culture and the quality of our interactions. So we're building a new culture, friends, a new way of being together whose call from the beloved is justice. It's the highest expression of love, and it's exemplified through our oneness, our ability to build unity in diversity. Jane, would you read?
Reciprocity, mutual aid and cooperation. Interaction with each other brings intimacy, the highest expression of our purpose in the human realm. We're one to observe with an eye that discovereth the realities of all things. It would become clear that the greatest relationship that bindeth the world of being together lieth in the range of created things themselves, and that cooperation, mutual aid, and reciprocity are essential characteristics in the unified body of the world of being, inasmuch as all created things are closely related together. Shoghi Effendi.
Beloved friends, trees take, they give us oxygen. They communicate through their roots. If one of them is weak, they send aid to the other tree. Why can we not do that? It is the highest beings in this contingent world. Why can't we do this? Why can't we submit to these spiritual forces that want to aid us? What is a spiritual force? It's understanding that the mercy of God is ever present. It's understanding that we daily are learning discernment and kindness and patience, that we are trustworthy human beings, that we are faithful to each other. We wouldn't harm, that we have a deep empathy for one another. So the greatest relationship that bindeth the world of being together lieth in the range of created things themselves, in our cooperation, our mutual aid, our reciprocity, this sharing. Is it material sharing? Is it spiritual sharing? Is it material knowledge? Is it spiritual knowledge? We are sharing back and forth, back and forth. There's this sweet, sweet quote that says, strive then, that your actions day by day may be beautiful prayers. Turn towards God and seek always to do that which is right and noble. Enrich the poor, raise the fallen, comfort the sorrowful, bring healing to the sick, reassure the fearful, rescue the oppressed, bring hope to the hopeless, shelter the destitute. That we have famine, that we have poverty, this is all we like to turn to God. How could you do this? And God says, how could you do this? I don't know if he says that, but I think he says that. So we've established that language is the first medium by which we are communicating together. So I want to say something about that, because, you know, as a homeopath, we have 6 years training. I don't know if I'm not going to explain homeopathy, but 6 years training, 2 years is spent in micro expressions from the 1700s. So if my language does not match up with what my body is speaking to you, then there is dissonance. Then it can't be trusted. And there's a quote I want to read about love. This is from a great thinker and scholar in the Baha'i faith. And he says it's easy for us to sit in our homes, in our nice gardens, and say, I love humanity. But love only becomes real when it's tested. Only when we've fought the battles of love and have time and again been wounded for the sake of love can we utter the sentence, I love, with authority and assurance. Friends, the most basic need that humans have, and now we can MRI the brain so we know it's truth, is to be cherished. So if I am telling you I love you, and I don't cherish you, I don't respect you, I really think less of you, you will know by my body. So our language needs to line up with our body. It needs to ooze out of our pores, this love. He goes on to say, talking about this wounded for the sake of love, can we utter this sentence, I love, with authority and assurance? So he goes on, he says, when a person who claims he has love in his heart, he must test himself, not others. And that's what we do. We go and test others. Do they really love? We have to test ourselves and see if we meet the conditions of true love. Are we obedient to the law of justice, the law of love, the law of compassion and empathy and mercy and patience and generosity? Because if we are not, another will smell it, will feel it, and their degradation continues and our own degradation continues. Gary, will you read? Are you here?
Yes.
Gary. Okay, Gary, thank you.
To persuade them through their intimate, spontaneous, and informal association with them of the genuineness, of their friendship and the sincerity of their intentions. Let me do that again. To persuade them through their intimate, spontaneous, and informal association with them in the genuineness of their friendship and the sincerity of their intentions. Shoghi Effendi.
Humanity is crying out for friendship, for compassion, to learn how to collaborate. It's crying out to be cherished, each human being. How do we go about learning the skills of creating a round table? And intimacy is the greatest of tools. How do I interpret this? I have an internal exercise with God, morning, evening, and actually it goes on. It's kind of a tape in my head that's playing all day long, a prayer that's playing all day long, that's pleading for these spiritual forces, for spiritual inspiration, to show up in a way that at the end of the day I can go, oh, don't do that again. That didn't work. How am I going to repair that? How am I going to fix that with this other human being in a way that is healing, authentic, truthful? And intimacy means I will show up as a trusted one and as hope. I will be the hopeful one in whatever space I'm in, that we can do this. Nesanjun, will you read?
No two men can be found who may be said to be outwardly and inwardly united. The evidences of discord and malice are apparent everywhere, though all were made for harmony and union. Baha'u'llah, Gleanings from the Writings of Baha'u'llah.
So Baha'u'llah has come to this earth and he says, okay, this is the reality. Face it. Rise to that which ye were created. And that is to recognize your own nobility. You were not created in sin. You were created noble. And out of the clay of love I molded thee, God says, each human being. Out of the clay I molded thee. Love me that I may love thee. If thou lovest me not, my love can in no wise reach thee. This is the realm of choice. We have to choose what path we are going to walk to understand this love of God. God's not, he didn't make automatons. He could have, he didn't. He loved us so much, trusts us so much that we can create heaven on earth. So we were made for harmony and union. This next quote makes me cry. It's one of my most favorite. He gives an example of what will happen if, well, he doesn't give an example. This is a law of in the Baha'i faith. He tells us how to do it. Jane, will you read?
Befriend him and suffer him to recount the tale of the woes with which God's inscrutable decree hath caused him to be afflicted. By the righteousness of God, whilst ye consort with him, the concourse on high will be looking upon you, will be interceding for you, will be extolling your names and glorifying your action. That's Baha'u'llah from Gleanings.
That is assuring us that if I befriend you and I will listen to you, you can lay your head on my lap and I will listen to what you have suffered in the name of God and at the hands of humanity. God says, by the righteousness of God, whilst you consort with each other, listen to each other, feel each other, hear each other, collaborate together, and build this intimate relationship. The concourse on high in the Baha'i faith is all the angels in the highest heavens and all the manifestations of God. He promises, while you do this, the concourse on high will be looking upon you, will be interceding for you, helping you rise for these spiritual forces to be working to build intimacy. Will be interceding for you, will be extolling your names and glorifying your action. What more could you want in life? What more could we want than to have a material, a love felt in this material realm, in the realm of choice, and to bring heaven down here between each other? And as we grow, it will be between us and the earth. We'll be caring for the earth. Are we doing okay? Are we good?
We're doing great.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Gary, will you read this?
Yes. In the relations, let me move this. In the relations amongst themselves as fellow believers, let them not be content with mere exchange of cold and empty formalities, often connected with the organizing of banquets, receptions, consultative assemblies, and lecture halls. Let them rather, as equal co-sharers in the spiritual benefits conferred upon them by Baha'u'llah, arise and with the aid and counsel of their local and national representatives, supplement these official functions with those opportunities which only a close and intimate social intercourse can adequately provide in their homes, in their hours of relaxation and leisure, in the daily contact of business transactions, in the association of their children, whether in their study classes, their playgrounds, and club rooms. In short, under all possible circumstances, however insignificant they appear. Shoghi Effendi.
So no matter what we do, in the Baha'i faith, we have administrative portions, we have administrative duties where we're applying these spiritual principles to the health of the community. In our love for the well-being of humankind, we are spiritual activists. We're building community with our neighbors, our friends. We're not coming in as missionaries. We're coming in as cohorts, as co-sharers in a spiritual destiny. No matter what you believe, we're here, exercising these spiritual forces. Jane or Roya, let's get Roya.
Thought you forgot about me.
No, my love, no.
Just kidding. The Baha'i faith is primarily focused on the collective salvation of the whole of humankind. Our primary task is social and unific rather than personal. Yet, it is individuals who are the most basic elemental unit of this social order. We must acknowledge, therefore, the existence of a reciprocal relationship between the individual and the community, such that the individual influences the growth of the community and the community's efforts influence the growth of the individual. From the crisis.
Gone are the days of personal salvation. We did that. I'm doing that every morning when I say my prayers, every evening when I say my prayers, and midday when I'm saying my prayers. This is my personal salvation. It is only exemplified when I am out for a collective salvation, when I'm working for the health and well-being of humankind, when I'm working for justice, when I am serving my fellow humans that I get to be with day in and day out, and expanding that so that we're maybe a few, and then we're building a community that has a voice of its own. I often use this example because it's extreme, and humanity learns with what we shouldn't do, not what we could do, is that an example of a healthy community would be a technological company coming into another country and going, hey, we'll give you $1 million if you send your children into these mines, because we could connect the whole world technologically. We just need your lithium, and it will kill your children. What do you think about that? And we don't even say, what do you think about that? Because they're so poor, they need the money. We just go in and do it. We hijack their autonomy. But if a community is working together, do you think they're going to allow that? They're going to say, go find your lithium in another way. You're not going to kill our children. Oh, yes, we know, connect the whole world. That would be great. Knowledge is now accessible. But we want to give voice to justice. And it was unjust how we got this technology. We now know we can go to the depths of the ocean, and lithium is abundant and nobody dies. So you'll also notice in the Baha'i faith, there's absolutely no proselytizing. We are forbidden. We are not missionaries. We are not out oppressing anybody. We're celebrating the religions on the earth. We're celebrating you and what you bring to our health. and our knowledge. We're almost there, friends. Stay with me. John, will you read?
I would be honored. Verily, the century of radiance has dawned. Minds are advancing. Perceptions are broadening. Realizations of human possibilities are becoming universal. Susceptibilities are developing. The discovery of realities is progressing. Therefore, it is necessary that we should cast aside all the prejudices of ignorance, discard superannuated beliefs in traditions of past ages, and raise aloft the banner of international agreement. Let us cooperate in love and through spiritual reciprocity enjoy eternal happiness and peace. Abdul Baha, Promulgation of Universal Peace.
So there's our bodies tell us a lot. This path is going to require an immense patience, which is a spiritual force. It's a spiritual power. And when we start to feel impatient with love, with sharing, with caring, with mercy, we're likely seeking an immediate result, not a thorough result in our trust building. And we often exhibit qualities and attitudes that dismiss long-term thinking and vision. So this is the ideal and the vision that we are moving towards. It is so possible. You know it, you feel it. You feel it in your families. You feel it with your friends. There's a beautiful prayer. I bring this up. It's very short. And the beloved Bob, he says, I seek patience only in God. Verily, he is the best protector, the best helper. No refuge do I seek save God. Verily, he is the guardian and the best supporter. And dear Roria, will you close?
Thank you. Know thou verily the Sun of Truth hath shone forth with the lights of peace upon all regions. Strife and conflict will surely be removed from all the nations of the earth. Carnage shall be taken away. Fighting, violence, and reviling will be changed into universal reconciliation, and the hosts of tranquility will pitch their tents in the midst of the world. Then the awning of the mercy of thy Lord will be hoisted, and those souls who are free from the filth of prejudice, contradictions, and presumption, and are filled with a love that imparts affinity, intimacy, affection, meekness, and humbleness, will be sheltered under it.
Okay, how do I stop share? And we can come back to gallery. How are we doing? Unmute yourselves and just pop a few words. How are you doing? Oh, I saw hearts. That's great. But I want to hear your voices. And just in 10 seconds, how are you feeling with what you're learning and hearing? Yogi, unmuted, go.
Hi, Miss Aniel.
Yes.
Laupa to everyone. Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful class. I'm following like every classes like about few weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks. So I'm sort of like getting answers. Yeah, it's a wonderful class. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Yogi. Welcome. We need you.
I like the
Les, how are you feeling? Go.
Can I go?
Yes, Yasmin.
I like the tone that you explain the things. It's calm enough that then my brain can get it. It's not too fast. So I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
You can't go wrong with these laws. Concepts. Please, friends, add your voice in 10 seconds. Add your heart. 10 seconds. Just say how you're feeling.
Mr. Jiva, say something. We saw you.
Simin. Barikalla.
Allah for everyone. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And I needed that emphasis on some of the quotations that we read, just read it. But now I really got it, you know. So how we should really not be prejudiced at all against any other religion. It's one God, one religion. Doesn't matter is Islam, Christianity, you know, Judaism. We are one.
And
And
one family.
one family, and we grow at a different time. And we have to just allow everyone to reach to their maturity whenever they are ready for it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And of course,
You speak.
Susan,
I'm
for
not
having
looking
me.
for compliments. I'm looking for us to pull these gems out. What, God bless you. What are you feeling? God is speaking to all of us. What are you feeling?
Anel, my name is Andrew Evangelisti, and I've been trying to remember where I met you, and I just realized it was at it was at a summer school years ago, and there was a pull something out of the hat, and what I pulled, what you handed me was I breathed.
Oh, Andrew, we're losing you. Try again.
At the summer school you had a pull some of the hat, and the reading that you gave me was it was from Baha'u'llah, and it said, "I have breathed a breath of my spirit into you." Thank you.
I have breathed a breath of my spirit into you. Oh,
I may be
beautiful.
I may and you exemplified that in your heart and soul and everything you do. Thank you. It's contagious.
Maybe we can ask Shu. Shu, I think Shu is joining us either from China or San Francisco. Shu, can we see you? You see, that's why people don't come.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, San Francisco. I'm coming back.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's so beautiful. I have shared this with quite some of my Chinese friends. Some of them cannot make it, but I tell them there will be recording. We'll share later.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last night, I took two of Chinese friends to a fireside Baha'i hosted in local library. You know, for people who have never been to any Baha'i activities, you know, as for Chinese, they felt a little hard, you know, the language, the prayers, it's like older English, but they love the idea, the concept, so.
So Shu, stay please, because you will close the evening with a Chinese prayer.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else, or shall we go?
I would like to say something.
Please, dear.
You say you're not seeking compliments, but I would like to compliment you anyway. The way I experienced your talk was that you took ideas of the broadest range. It covered a wide scope of things, like casting a net over everything that I knew and pulling it all together in the most gentle, kind way to make it mean something. And I said, isn't that amazing? It was just beautiful representation of what the Baha'i message is. And well done.
Thank you, sweet Bruce.
I just wanted to pop in and say that thank you for the wonderful quotes that you selected, and the slides were really gorgeous, beautiful background. But
Jason!
oh, Nason, oh, now we know who to turn to. Okay.
Jane and Jason are.
Yes. So one of the quotes really struck me this time. It's not the first time I'd seen it, but it really struck me when the one that was talking about that when you are actually in close, intimate conversation with one another, or befriending one another, or consorting together, that the concourse on high is actually like with you in that moment. The concourse on high is witnessing it and supporting it, and that is just an amazing thing to imagine happening. So thank you for that.
And that's what we're after. Aren't we after that? Shala June, you don't have to raise your hand.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. When I looked at your subject or the heading, Exploring Divine Friendship, I see divine friendship only achievable when we love each other in this world, get to know each other, then we become eternal. And I love the way my father always said, the only thing you take with you is the love and the friends that you have met, the relationship you have developed. And I used to think, what does he mean? But, I don't think divine friendship happens because we read a lot of writings and memorize them and we say morning and evening prayers. It is how we interact with each other and learn to love each other no matter what, with our ups and downs. And in one of those readings, it says that we have been created different so that we get to know each other and love each other. And it makes sense, because if we were created to be exactly the same, no two people have even the same fingerprint, and then we wouldn't have to learn to love each other, care for each other. I think the more different we are, there are more possibilities of learning and growing and developing. So I like the title of your talk, and I'm wondering if we can further explore it in the future of how we can create friendships and love that we can take with each other to the next world. And it's going to be interesting whom we sit on the pink cloud for the next umpteen thousand years.
Thank you, Shala June.
Katya, please unmute yourself.
I wanted to thank Yasmin, who reached out and got me here at the last 15 minutes. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to share this quote that I've been reading a lot this week. It describes this meeting. It says, from Abdul Baha, each of the meetings you have organized, wherein you feel heavenly emotions and comprehend realities and significances, is like unto the firmament, and those souls are as resplendent stars shining with the light of guidance. So thank you for creating such a meeting and inviting me here.
Thank you, Forus.
Thank you. Nason June or Roya June, could you find this quotation and maybe put it in chat? I'm very sorry to bother you. Do you want Katya to read it again? This was an amazing quotation.
Yes.
Katya,
Okay, it's part of a greater quotation that has been addressed to somebody who has lost their sight and their hearing, as like I have. And if you want to, I can read the rest of it. It's 2 paragraphs, but it's up to you. Just the end I can read.
Go ahead, reread what you said, and I'll look it up and I can put it in the chat.
Okay, if you look it up, just look up, "O thou possessor of a seeing heart." If that doesn't describe today. Each of the meetings ye have organized, wherein ye feel heavenly emotions and comprehend realities and significances, is like unto the firmament, and those souls are as resplendent stars shining with the light of guidance. Happy is the soul that seeketh in this brilliant error heavenly teachings, and blessed is the heart which is stirred and attracted by the love of God. That's the second paragraph. But if you're looking it up, "O thou possessor of a seeing heart."
He already has it.
Oh, there you go. It's so beautiful.
Roya is
Fast as
genius.
lightning.
Thank you, Roya.
Yeah, you're fast.
For that quote, Katya June. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gary had something to say. Yeah, I can feel it.
I'm actually just listening, basking in this presentation, and yeah. So I'm pausing and reflecting right now, but just the power of what it's really like to get past superficial interactions, what it really entails to dive in. What does it mean by cultivating? What does it mean? Cultivating. You know, we have that coin that everyone talks about, cultivating capacity. So what is that? You discover that by mingling with folks other than those that you're comfortable with. And the cultivating is letting go. All of the stuff that you think makes you, and diving into what Baha'u'llah said you are, that noble being. Letting go, you'll discover there's so much that we pile up on ourselves that we think makes us from titles to possessions to all these things. But Baha'u'llah said the heart. And I have developed some other world relationships with people in this space. I can call you out, but you know who you are. You know exactly who you are. But we all gather to draw from the same well because of our love of Baha'u'llah. With all of these different life experiences, so many extremes in this space right here in itself, because Baha'u'llah is the attraction. That's what has us here. And I just have to share this because this is from Abdul Baha. And then I will pause. But Aniela, you asked me, so I speak from my heart. He says, and this is from selections of the writings of Abdul Baha. He says, O ye who are the chosen ones of the Abha kingdom, praise ye the Lord of hosts, for he, riding upon the clouds, hath come down to this world out of the heaven of the invisible realm, so that east and west were lit by the glory of the Sun of Truth, and the call of the kingdom was raised, and the heralds of the realm above, with melodies of the conquest on high, sang out the glad tidings of the coming. Then the whole world of being did quiver for joy, and still the people, even as the Messiah saith, slept on. For the day of the manifestation when the Lord of hosts descended, found them wrapped in the slumber of unknowing. As he saith in the gospel, my coming is even as when the thief is in the house, and the goodman of the house watcheth not. From amongst all mankind, he hath chosen you, and your eyes have been opened to the light of guidance, and your hearts attuned to the music of the company above. and blessed by abounding grace. Your hearts and souls have been born into new life. Thank ye and praise ye God that the hand of infinite bestowals hath set upon your heads this gem-studded crown, this crown whose lustrous jewels will forever flash and sparkle down all the reaches of time. And to thank him for this, make ye a mighty effort and choose for yourselves a noble goal. Through the power of faith, obey ye the teachings of God, and let all your actions conform to his laws. That's number 17, and the tablet is longer than that. But again, he has chosen everyone in the space with this bounty. And it's not ours to keep, it's for ours to share with others. Selflessly share, because it doesn't belong to us, it belongs to God. In love is our bounding grace. So thank you. You just fill my entire being every time I hear you speak. And the bounty of you in my life, Aniela. Oh, and just for the record, just so I get a hug, you know what this is. So thank you. Love you all. Allah.
Roya, would you be able to locate that quotation that Gary just shared? Maybe we can put that. I know you will never come back to this fireside, and the risk of that, I'm asking you, because these are fantastic quotations and you're a genius. And I would like to ask you, when we go to our devotional part, probably after Shu, because I know you're a soprano. So I just saw that on your Facebook. So if you can say a prayer, you know how, look at Gary, how he's smiling and shaking his head. Anyways, go ahead, Aniela.
Well, I want to close with this. These are Jane also is fast as lightning. Your quotes are there in the chat between Roya and Jane. Oh my gosh. And thank you to the team that helped. My God. Like I said, you can't go wrong when you have an author, capital A, like this, where these writings come from. I want us to ponder this patience for this vision as it unfolds, and to be cognizant that we're going to make mistakes. We're going to step on each other's toes. It is no excuse for not picking ourselves up and trying again to be faithful to these laws that Baha'u'llah has exemplified, expounded upon, because all along, each of these voices of God were to unite us. Towns, and cities, nations, and now the universe, right? We are called to this work, and we can do it. But you know what occurs to me day in and day out with the patients that I get to work with, they're each extraordinary, is that we all come with wounds. How can we turn these wounds into capacity? How do we make them holy? Make the suffering that we have endured holy. And the only way I can see is to go back to this quote that, Roya is talking about, and to befriend him and suffer him. Make space for each other. Make space, make a trusted space for each other to figure out how we're going to move together in harmony, in compassion, there's a word I'm looking for, empowerment. And I thank you all.
There's no way I would be articulate enough to thank you and your team. And you're my sister. I can say anything and you would forgive me. Well, what can I say to your team, to all these geniuses that have been backing us up with finding the writings, putting in, and even smiling? So thank you for creating such a beautiful space for us. From 8:30 till 9, we move to our devotionals. And I'm wondering, I don't know how to make it 1, 2, 3, but probably Shu will start with Chinese prayers. Mr. Perimal, don't go away. Pina, don't go away. And because last week we did not hear from you, as well as we wanted to say a prayer for Louise and Bob Leblanc. They are not well, but they are on their way to go to Belize for a short-term pioneering. So we will remember them and say a healing prayer for them. And Gary, even if you close your camera, we see your picture. So don't think that we don't remember you. Can we see your face, please, Gary? Roya, tell him to open his. Gary, come back. And
He will if he's able.
And Roya can maybe, Roya, do you have a healing prayer memorized you could chant? Because you were asked as our soprano.
Yes. So please go ahead. Show will start, and then Roya on number 2, and then please join us, please.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Such a wonderful talk. Daniela, I still feel the warmth of your hug at ABS conference in Atlanta. So I will say a prayer about unity. It's the Chinese version of the "Oh God, oh my God, oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servant." So, 我的上帝啊，我的上帝啊，联合您仆役们的心智，显示您伟大的旨意给他们。愿他们听从您的诫命，遵守你的律法。上帝啊，帮助他们极力诚实，并赐予他们力量来侍奉你。上帝啊，切莫让他们孤立无援，而以您智慧之光引导大家的步伐，并以您的爱来鼓舞他们的心灵，诚然，您是他们的天助者，他们的主宰。巴哈欧拉。
Roya, please.
A prayer for healing from the writings of Baha'u'llah. Thy name is my healing, oh my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise.
Here is another healing prayer. Also remembering myself being ill at the moment. Ya Ilahi, اسمك شفاعي وذكرك دوائي وقربك رجائي وحبك مونسي ورحمتك طبيبي ومؤني في الدنيا والآخرة وإنك أنت المطيع العليم الحكيم إنك أنت المطيع العليم الحكيم حسرة بهاء
Aloha, aloha, aloha. Aloha, aloha, aloha. Aloha, aloha, aloha. Oh God, make me a glory from which the pit of self hath been blown, that I may become a clear channel through which thy love may flow to others. Oh God, make me a glory from which the pit of self hath been blown, that I may become a clear channel through which thy love may flow to others. Ya Baha'u'llah.
Mr. Perimat.
O the incomparable God, we are thy humble servants, and thou art the all-glorious. We are sinners, and thou art ever forgiving. We are captive, poor and lowly, and thou art our shelter and our aid. We are as tiny ants, and thou art the Lord of majesty, enthroned in the highest heaven. Protect us as a token of thy grace, and withhold not from us thy care and assistance. O Lord, thy tests are indeed severe, and thy trials lay in rain foundation of rod of steel. Preserve and strengthen us, cheer and gladden our hearts, graciously assist us to serve even as Abdul Baha, thy sacred trustor. Abdul Baha.
Alice.
O Son of Man, For everything there is a sign. The sign of love is fortitude under my decree, and patience under my trial. Baha'u'llah.
Friends, feel free to say prayers in whichever language we still have time. Sure.
Simin.
I'm going to say a prayer in Spanish. I hope it's correct. Oh mi Dios, une los corazones de tus siervos y revelarles tu gran propósito. Puedan ellos seguir tus mandamientos y atenerse a tu ley. Ayúdales, oh Dios, en sus esfuerzos y confírles fuerza para servirte. Oh Dios, no los abandones a sí mismo, sino guía sus pasos con la luz de tu conocimiento y anima sus corazones con tu amor. Verdaderamente, tú eres su ayuda y su Señor. The Unity Prayer. Allahu Akbar.
O thou kind Lord, thou hast created all humanity from the same stock. Thou hast decreed that all shall belong to the same household. In thy holy presence, dear all thy servants, and all mankind are sheltered beneath thy tabernacle. All have gathered together at thy table of bounty. All are illumined through the light of thy providence. O God, thou art kind to all. Thou hast provided for all, dost shelter all, conferest life upon all. Thou hast endowed each and all with talents and faculties, and all are submerged in the ocean of thy mercy. O thou kind Lord, unite all. Let the religions agree and make the nations one, so that they may see each other as one family, and the whole earth as one home. May they all live together in perfect harmony. O God, raise aloft the banner of oneness of mankind. O God, establish the most great peace. Cement thou, O God, the hearts together. O thou kind Father, God, gladden our hearts through the fragrances of thy love. Brighten our eyes through the light of thy guidance. Delight our ears with the melody of thy word, and shelter us all in the stronghold of thy providence. Thou art the mighty and powerful. Thou art the forgiving, and thou art the one who overlooketh the shortcomings of all mankind.
I'll say,
If I may, please.
oh, sorry. I'll say a blessed spot in Chinese. 祝福在此地，在屋宇，在这里， 在城市，在心田，在山岭，在避难所，在洞穴，在山谷，在陆地，在海洋，在岛屿，在草原，凡歌颂上帝之处，他的圣名荣耀。好。
ای خداوند روحی در دلها بدم که همدم تو گردم و شوقی در قلوب بینداز که به ذکر تو دمساز شوم جانها را شور به بلایی ده و دلها را وجد و طربی بر که هر دم روحی تازه یابند و به سروری بیاندازه رسند ای خداوند مهربان یاران را رو و ریحان بخش و تاییدی آسمانی فرما تا تشنگان را سلسبیل هدایت دهند و گمگشتگان را به سبیل عنایت دلالت کنند تویی مقتدر و توانا و شنونده و بینا
Andrew.
They who are the people of God have no ambition except to revive the world, to ennoble its life, and to regenerate its peoples. Truthfulness and goodwill have at all times marked their relations with all men. Baha'u'llah.
O my God, thou seest me in my lowliness and weakness, occupied with the greatest undertaking, determined to raise thy word among the masses and to spread thy teachings among thy peoples. How can I succeed unless thou assist me with the breath of the Holy Spirit? Help me to triumph by the hosts of thy glorious kingdom, and shower upon me thy confirmations, which alone can change a gnat into an eagle, a drop of water into rivers and seas, and an atom into lights and suns. O my Lord, assist me with thy triumphant and effective might, so that my tongue may utter thy praises and attributes among all people, and my soul overflow with the wine of thy love and knowledge. Thou art the omnipotent and the doer of whatsoever thou willest.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-asma. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-asma. إلهي إلهي أسألك ببحر شفاعك أسألك ببحر شفاعك وإشراقات أنبار وإشراقات أنبار نیر فضلك وباسم الذي سخرت به عبادك وبنفوذ كلمتك العليا و اقتدار قلمك الأعلی و برحمتك التي سبقت من في الأرض والسماء أن تطهرني بماء العطاء من كل بلاء سقم ووظف وعز ای ربی ترسای قائما لدي باب جودك ولا من متمسكا بحبل كرمك أسألك أن لا تخيب هما رودا من بحر حظك بالشمس عنايتك إنك أنت المقتدر ألوم ما تشاء إنك أنت المقتدر ألوم ما تشاء لا إله إلا أنت الغفور الكريم.
Could you say
O
the
thou incomparable God, O thou Lord of the kingdom, these souls are thy heavenly army. Assist them with the cohort of the supreme concourse. Make them victorious, so that each one of them may become like unto a regiment and conquer these countries through the love of God and the illumination of divine teachings. O God, be thou their supporter and their helper. And in the wilderness, the mountain, the valley, the forest, the prairies, and the seas, be thou their confidant, so that they may cry out through the power of thy kingdom and the breath of the Holy Spirit. Verily, thou art the powerful, the mighty, and the omnipotent, and thou art the wise, the hearing, and the seeing. Abdul Baha.
Glory be to thee, O Lord my God. I beg of thee by thy name, through which he who is thy beauty hath been established upon the throne of thy cause, and by thy name, through which thou changest all things, and gatherest together all things, and callest to account all things, and rewardest all things, and preservest all things, and sustainest all things. I beg of thee to guard this handmaiden, who hath fled for refuge to thee, and hath sought the shelter of him in whom thou thyself art manifest, and hath put her whole trust and confidence in thee. She is sick, O my God, and hath entered beneath the shadow of the tree of thy healing, afflicted, and hath fled to the city of thy protection, disease, and hath sought the fountainhead of thy favors, sorely vexed, and hath hasted to attain the wellspring of thy tranquility, burdened with sin, and hath set her face toward the court of thy forgiveness. Attire her by thy sovereignty and thy loving kindness, O my God and my beloved, with the raiment of thy balm and thy healing, and make her quaff of the cup of thy mercy and thy favors. Protect her, moreover, from every affliction and ailment, from all pain and sickness, and from whatsoever may be abhorrent unto thee. Thou in truth art immensely exalted above all else except thyself. Thou art verily the healer, the all-sufficing, the preserver, the ever-forgiving, the most merciful. Baha'u'llah.
گر خیال جان همی هستت به دل اینجا میا گر خیال جان همی هستت به دل اینجا میا ور نثار جان و دل بر نثار جان و سر داری بیا و هم بیار رسم ره این است گر وصل خدا داری طلب رسم ره این است گر وصل خدا داری طلب ور نباشی مرد این ره دور شو زحمت میار ور نباشی مرد این ره دور شو زحمت میار.
Aniela, would you like to say the last prayer, please?
Zap. Please, God, that this be acceptable for all those who have passed on to the next world. Our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our friends. O thou provider, O thou forgiver, a noble soul hath ascended unto the kingdom of reality and hastened from the mortal world of dust to the realm of everlasting glory. Exalt the station of this recently arrived guest, and attire this long-standing servant with a new and wondrous robe. O thou peerless Lord, grant thy forgiveness and tender care, so that this soul may be admitted into the retreats of thy mysteries, and may become an intimate companion in the assemblage of splendors. O thou art the giver, the bestower, the ever-loving. Thou art the pardoner, the tender, the most powerful. Abdul.
Niela, you don't know how much I wanted you to say a prayer for departed all night, and all of a sudden you did. You know, I lost my brother a couple of months ago. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Dear friends, it's so wonderful to see your faces. Alice, come back. Aniela might not be the speaker, but we will all be here, and it's going to be a family affair. So come back on other Thursdays. Every Thursday we will meet here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing prayers. Kathy, thank you very much. Khanim Samandari, thank you for being here. Shu, love you, love you. Thank you. All the best. Andrew, Mr. Jiva, you didn't say a prayer. Next time. Thank you, Khanim Sharaf. All of you, Shahla June, Mali June, much love to you all. Thanks for sharing this space, and thanks for creating this space. Love you all.
Thank you for organizing and bring all of us together.
Yes, خیلی ممنون عزیزم.
Azizam.
Thank you very much.
Yes, she.
I love
Say with Allah. Thank you for accepting me to be here. Give me chance to say prayer. It was my pleasure.
You're very welcome. Pina speaks 15 languages, including Malay,
Yeah,
Filipino, and Farsi. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Shara.
No, thank you. And next time I will read some English, because I would try to read in English healing prayer, but I saw other person was read it. So I said, okay, I choose Persian.
You have a heavenly voice. Thank you very much. Gary, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your prayers. Gary,
Bruce. Mwah.
Gary, you're a lucky man. Let me tell you this much. Much love to all.
We are lucky.
And see you next week. Dr. John Goodall will join us next week. It took me some time to ask him and he accepted it. So please be here at 7 o'clock next Thursday. Much love to all. I will stay online because I need to save the chat because of all those wonderful quotations. But I'm saying goodbye to you all.
She takes roll, so be there.
Yes, yes. Jane, you didn't say a prayer, but we still love you.
Yes, Jane.
Thank you. I love each of you.
Thank you,
So
Jane.
this gathering is every month or once a month, once a
Every
week?
Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday? All right. Thank you. Have a great night and great day with those people. Thank you.
Bring your neighbors.
Bring your neighbors, bring your friends.
Sure, definitely.
Ann and Bruce, see you Sunday. See you Monday. See you Sunday and Monday and Thursday.
I come to quench my thirst every Thursday.
We love you, Pina. Feel better.
We love you,
Thank
Tina.
you. Thank you
Don't
so
learn-
much.
Don't learn more languages. This is enough. 15 is sufficient. Love you all. Thank you,
I
Kathy.
love you too.
Gary, let us see your face before we leave.
Oh, June.
Gary, I'm coming to the wedding, whether you want it. Oh, he's talking.
Okay.
Invite me.
I had a call in between. I love you guys.
Thank you.
I'm here and I will be here to support you. Thank you, Aniela. I love you all. Aloha. And should that happen, you will definitely have the invitation.
Invite us to the wedding. The rest is history. Good night,
Okay.
everyone.
Aloha.
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 Bye. Bye.